Yo, how y'all doing today? And I actually want to let y'all know this is a video that I'm actually really excited to make. Now, before we get into this, let me paint you a picture real quick. Walk with me for a little bit. Let me cook for you. Now, picture little old Cannon, right? No dreads, just a boosie fade with cargo shorts on and a Spider-Man graphic tee with a music taste that consisted of Lupe Fiasco, Fall Out Boy, one singular Britney Spears song, Toxic, you know the one, right? The late GOAT Capital Steez, may he rest in power, and whatever my mom played on the loudspeaker in the living room. Black household, you know the deal, bro. Now, being the little jit that I was with unfiltered access to the internet that I probably shouldn't have had at that age, I was just scrolling down YouTube, right? I'd watch any Let's Player that was pretty much on the screen. By the way, shout out to the GOAT Dashy Games, bro. That is my GOAT personally. I don't know about you, but that's my GOAT, right? And naturally, I'd see like games that I didn't have access to, you know, that would really pique my interest, and those usually were the Let's Plays that, you know, I was hooked on, that I was captured on, because at the time I was like, bro, if I have the game, right, I know what's in the game, I play it and I know it to the back of my hand, because, you know, as a little kid, we just play games like over and over and over again. We didn't really get bored of the game particularly, and we weren't like, you know, in the mindset where if we play this game for too long, it'll get stale. We just played it over and over. I scroll down my feed, right, and I see a video about Sonic Generations from Cabana Monty 456. Now, I'd watched them before in the past, and I'm like, I really like this Zelda gameplay. Even though I've already 100% Sonic Generations, right, I might as well just give this a shot, because he just might make it entertaining. Is that Dark Sonic? That is the feeling that I got seeing my first ever mod in any game ever, because you have to think about it. I played Sonic Generations from the back to the front. I 100% it, bro. I thought that I was literally top 1% at the time in the game, right? And then I see something that I never, ever seen before. And like, it's really a shell shock with this specific example, because like, of course I watched Sonic X, bro. I was a Sonic fan, right? And then I'm seeing Dark Sonic taken from Sonic X and put into, like, at the time, my favorite game ever. That's just a feeling that you cannot match. Now, being the uneducated, dumb little kid that I was, what was the first thing that I did? Immediately get back on the game, only to be met with utter disappointment that I scrubbed every single bit of it and could not find any hint of unlocking Dark Sonic. So naturally, I put on my thinking cap, then went right back to Google to find out how these people managed to get Dark Sonic into Sonic Generations. What followed after was the craziest pipeline into modding, and that's all she wrote. My third eye was officially open to mod, and what went from some niche thing turned into something completely synonymous with gaming that I really couldn't imagine games without sometimes. Modders have done an unimaginable service to gaming culture as a whole. Like, seriously, think about it. Think about certain ports, certain specific types of games, right, that just wouldn't be as good or wouldn't be at their full potential without their respective restoration mods. For example, Sonic Adventure on the PC and the Nier Automata PC port. Now, eventually the Nier Automata PC port did receive an update that fixed a lot of the issues players had with the game's performance, frame rate, just stuff like that. But initially, we did not have this. We had to rely on the modders to do a lot of the heavy lifting and fix a plethora of issues that we, the player, had with the game. And they even put in some bonuses like upscaled textures and just all around cool mods for the game, and it became the definitive way to play it, to the point where people still use the guide provided to mod the game to reach its full potential. And I must say, its full potential does indeed look beautiful. And an example that people will probably be more familiar with is Sonic Adventure. Now, SADX needs no introduction, and its infamous port also needs no introduction because it is horrible. But the service that these modders did for this game, like, it's hard to explain just how crazy, like, the night and day difference is from vanilla playing. Like, the list goes on, from in-engine fixes with collision, you got fixes to character models, you got fixes to audio, you got fixes to cutscenes in general, just how levels are like laid out, and complete texture changes. Like, it's absolutely insane. Completely saving SADX's PC port and making it actually worth buying. And when it comes to saving games, modders take it a whole step farther. Now, Titanfall 2 is a beloved game by many. It's one of the greatest FPSs of all time, and it's my personal favorite FPS, and as you may or may not know, there was a period of time where the game was essentially unplayable because hackers just completely demolished the server, and Respawn was too busy being bitch ass niggas to fix it. But the beautiful North Star client was created by a handful of passionate modders that love Titanfall, and it gave us a great alternative to be able to play the game without the issues of crashing or completely DCing or just not even being able to log in the game at all, saving the game from complete obscurity and just the inability to play it in general. And there's also cases of when like modders give a game a second win with just how much content they add onto it. And one of my favorite examples by far, bar none, bro, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 palette swap mods. When I say these modders create black magic to be able to like achieve some of these mods, it is definitely an understatement. One of the big things about MVC3, and it is a beloved game, it is a great game, is that compared to MVC2, it did cut a lot of characters that people were a big fan of, such as like Cyclops or Venom. But with the help of palette swap mods, bro, they add Venom, Cyclops, and much more. Like, bro, have you ever wanted to like boot up a Marvel vs. Capcom game that wasn't a fan game build or a fork of Mugen and play as Carnage? Well, my friend, today you have lucked up, because that is exactly what you can do. And not just that, you can play as Ultron, you can play as X, you can play as Lilith, you can play as Shadow Lady, you can play as Thanos, you can play as Spider-Gwen. Like a dog. It's just that crazy. Like, if you want to boot up the game and play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Sentinel, you can do exactly that. If you want to play as Orange Hulk with a completely different moveset change and a completely different approach to how you normally play Hulk in Marvel, you can do exactly that. And for now, aside from when this game eventually does get netcode fixes, because I know they are working on rollback for the game, this is by far like the most definitive way to play a Marvel vs. Capcom game, right? It's as close as MVC4 as we're gonna get. Or at least that's what I would say if Maximilian dude wasn't working on a beautiful mod for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Allow me to introduce you to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Beyond, made by the beautiful MVCI Beyond dev team, with the help of Max, of course. This includes model tweaks, UI tweaks, cell shading, and overall moveset overhauls and tweaks to gameplay mechanics, making it play completely night and day from MVCI. And we all know that MVCI was a bit of a disappointment, but this game aims to capture the game at its absolute full potential, and this would not be possible without modding. And all these cool mods are not limited to be in the vein of what I mentioned. You got stuff for Kingdom Hearts 2, like Nobody May Cry, making that gameplay insane, bro. Like on DMC 3, 4, or 5 levels of insane. Like when that officially drops, it's going to be crazy, and you can see some gameplay on the screen right now. And then you of course have the more popular ones like Terraria's Calamity mod that makes the game go from Terraria 1 and skipping Terraria 2 and go straight to Terraria 3, bro, because the stuff that this mod adds is just insane. Like it truly needs no introduction. It's insane to think that mods were once this like obscure thing that you just stumble upon watching a video of Sonic Generations or Tenkaichi 3 to now becoming something that's just completely synonymous with gaming, to the point where games drop with direct mod implementation in mind. Bro, I said implementation, I meant to say integration. And even when certain games drop without like direct mod integration, you can still see how mods directly influence a sequel to a game or the game in general. An example would have to be GTA 5. Like we all know about GTA RP and how it makes certain tweaks or changes to the inherent base of GTA's features to enhance them or just make QOL changes in general. And one of these changes that did stand out for a lot of players that were interested in like racing or cars in GTA in general were the tweaks made to the drifting and overall handling of the car, to the point where Rockstar recognized this, and instead of booming like the GTA RP servers or cease and desisting or any type of thing that would just inherently negatively affect them, they instead looked at these changes and decided, oh, we're gonna go ahead and implement these in base game. And to take it a step even further, Rockstar actually acquired the team behind 5M, aka the thing that makes like RP servers even able to be a thing, with a plethora of changes to how servers work in GTA Online and just overall modifications to make it even cooler. So with that in mind, GTA 6's online is probably going to be absolutely insane. An example of mod modding or the modding community in general helping a game or its sequel reach its full potential. And that's absolutely crazy that like years ago this would not even be heard of. Modding not only gives the community a new lens to see the game through and enhances it tenfold, likely adding hours upon hours upon hours of more gameplay and more fun to be had, but it allows the community to directly influence this sequel and make changes that they've asked for years. It even gives players that want to get into old games with high skill ceilings a plethora of accessibility options that make it easier for them to actually get into the game. And you probably already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Smash Bros. Melee, one of the most technical games out there with a skill floor that usually gatekeeps new players from wanting to get in. But with the implementation of Slippy, rollback netcode for the game, various training mode mods that help you learn the tech in the game, get a feel for neutral, and overall learn the buffer system and how you're able to input and link proper things and learn L canceling, it has made getting into the game easier than ever. A game that people will probably come to love that they never would have thought of getting into before because of just how difficult the game was. Revitalization of a game is one thing, but introducing an entirely new era to the game is completely different. That goes beyond giving a game a second win. And it doesn't even have to be huge cases like Calamity where they add an expansion pack that's absolutely insane, nearly dwarfing the base game. There's also just simple texture pack mods that will make people want to get back on the game. And of course there's games like Rivals of Aether where modding is so synonymous with the game to the point where I don't even think about base game anymore like upon first glance of the game. I mean, modding blew that game up so much to the point where it just fully funded its sequel. And the game was already good on its own, but without that like surge of mods and things to grab a lot of like people's attention, like the average person, nobody probably would have known the game was this good. Like, of course, mods can blow up a game, but your game being great already will keep people playing it. Just like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. And I dead ass cannot play that game without mods anymore. Not even to like Glaze Movement Plus, just certain mods that make loading screens faster, fast travel better, just certain tweaks to like add new mechanics like wall planting, bumper cars, rebound launching, like dude, the list goes on and on. We even have our own radio station in the game now where you can put in your own stations to listen to the music you want. Like, dude, I'm telling you, it turned the game from JSR to GTA Online JSR. Like, nigga, look at Xenoverse 2, bro. Look at base Xenoverse 2 and look at Xenoverse 2 with mods. Look at Tenkaichi 3. Look at base Tenkaichi 3 and then look at like Tenkaichi 4 or even the crazier mod packs where you're fighting like, I don't even know, Piccolo Saitama fused with Goku and you're fighting Zycor, Super Saiyan 18. Like, nigga, look at Minecraft. Do I even have to say anymore? And the answer should be no. Which is why we're moving on to the next section of the video, my personal favorite section of the video. The part of the video where I put you onto some new songs or artists in general that you probably just haven't heard of to spice up your palette or just give you a break from listening to the same old thing over and over in case you're getting bored. And for the niggas that know, I'm about to cook a little bit. I recently went on a crazy deep dive with my niggas Kino and Zero and Dog. Oh my God. Bro, for starters, okay, first off, I can't even fit all the artists that we listen to in this video. We've listened to like, I don't even know, overall, if I really think about it, like 50 plus. But I'm gonna condense some of the best ones in this video for you. And for the rest of them, you're just gonna have to look out in future videos, bro. I can't give them all away, bro. And we're gonna start this one off super strong, bro. This is a band that I highly recommend. Like, scratch listening to a specific song or a specific project because I think they only have like one actual project out. It's an EP. They have a few double plays, but only one proper project, and they have an album dropping soon, bro. And that band is Julie. While being primarily associated with shoegaze, as a person that's went across the whole discog, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, that does an injustice for just how crazy the range is. Like, bro, it's so crazy. For the first time in my life, I wish I actually paid attention to music theory properly, just so I can understand how they fit certain progressions and entire tonal, tempo, genre switches into one song. Like, that is absolutely crazy for me. There's only been one other band that has actually made me want to pay attention to music theory to learn just how good their music is. Scratch just shoegaze, bro. They go from shoegaze to like post-punk to math rock in one song, and they make it all transition perfectly. And one of the best parts of this band, aside from the two vocalists, because they are absolutely cracked, they fully mastered placing soft vocals on hard rock. One of the best things about this song is that these niggas are consistent, bro. These artists, oh my god, some of these artists just have not been consistent, but these niggas are, and I appreciate that so much. And I mean that in like the sense that they are not only consistent in their sound and how good their music is, they're consistent in actually dropping music. I'm not even gonna attempt to compare them to some like other artists or bring out this like big brain explanation for their sound. They sound like if Tokyo Ghoul took place in Black Lagoon, and instead of like having Toka, you had Revi. I feel so bad for like the niggas that just don't know what that means, bro. I should probably actually get better at explaining stuff. But for the people that do know what I mean, they know that this goes absolutely crazy. And everybody, if you like rock or shoegaze or any genre of rock, if you like rock in general, it does not matter, bro. Just go ahead and listen to the discog. Just go straight through the discog. There's not that many songs, but there is a lot of hits. And next up, we got Sleep Inside, and these niggas are extremely underrated, bro. If you're a fan of like that vintage type of sound, bro, these are the niggas for you. And for a recommendation, we have Tobanai Tenshi no Hane or Kita. And this song fully embodies that like Japanese post-punk sound, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure is that. I think I got my genres right. And the vocal mixing is kind of like reminiscent of that like garage band type of feel, like the way they lay into the actual instruments. And this nigga's cadence is A1, giving you like that pseudo melancholy feel. Like I am extremely excited to see how this band's sound further progresses, because once again, they are also pretty consistent at dropping music, so you don't have to wait eons for like another drop. And last but most definitely not least, we have Slovez, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This band mainly centers themselves around that more ambient sound, right? They use a lot of reverb, but they do also have the guitar sounding relatively harsh, so I always like that contrast. And the lead singer, dog, heavenly vocals, absolutely no need for layering. And for a song recommendation, we have Anywhere Else. It perfectly encapsulates pretty much everything I just said, so I don't want to repeat too much. But one thing that I can appreciate by this specific sound of ambient rock is just how wet the vocals feel. Pause. Like for example, this is one thing that I had to catch on like a few re-listens, but the way they delay her vocals, right? Of course, there's like the normal delay where they echo, but her vocals echo from the like middle. It starts at the middle, right? Like right into the main vocal. And then it kind of like echoes off into the top instead of like to the left or right of your headphones. Really cool little like touch to the song. And it adds that feeling of like you're sinking, which I think that is exactly what they were aiming for. So very great execution. And with that, my good friend, our time here comes to a close. But wait. Let me give you a quick little bonus. May I interest you in joining the official Canon Discord server? Now hear me out. Other Discord servers may offer you such pleasantries as crab legs or lobster tails, but us, we don't do any of that measly peon stuff. We offer you the portable GameCube. Oh wait, that doesn't interest you? Okay. Nigga, we got Wii phones. Yeah, we got Wii phones. Also, at the release of Sparking Zero, I will be hosting a tourney for money, bread. I know, like, who doesn't like money? So if you want to take my head and if you want to take my bread, go ahead and slide, bro. Let's get these Sparking Zero rounds in. But be warned, I am cracked at Tenkaichi 3 and the skill will transfer, and I also beat Komaru's ass at Raging Blast 2 in the first attempt. And I don't even play that game. So get right before you get left, gang. All that skill, and I still yap too much, which is why I don't know how to end video.
Up in here with my tool, they gon' find you in the ditch, yeah. Straight for high rule, you not from me, you a glitch, yeah. Man of my rules, running with the misfits, yeah. Do not misclick, that's gon' get you hit quick, yeah. God don't death, this God, ain't no variation, it's Lord X Lord. I keep prepared, I saw an X out of Clyde. My name Lucy, when I talk, you know.